Good evening, boxing fans. This is Sean with BoxingSocialist.com. We're here with Carcino, Habib, Calix, Colton, and Mr. Boxing today. How y'all doing today, fellas? All right, real quick question. This won't take long. Probably won't take you long to answer. When you look at boxing today, it seems like there's a big element that's missing. It's been missing for a long time. There's one punch that you hardly see any fighter use, but it's one of the most effective punches, and that's the uppercut. Why do you think the uppercut is missing in boxing today? We got the jab, we got the right, we got the left hook, we got the body shots. But the uppercut, powerful punch, is missing. Why? Well, let's start back with you, Mr. Boxing, today.
Well, it's only missing if you don't have a good jab, because you got to set it up. You just can't come in and lunge in with uppercuts. I mean, you'll get it. Just because guys aren't using good jabs, they're not setting it up properly. They're probably not throwing it properly. And when you're throwing it, what I've noticed when I've been in gyms is it leaves your jaw vulnerable, especially when you're not delivering the punch right. So guys might be scared, like, man, I might get caught with a shot trying to throw an uppercut. You might get caught with a hook or something. So just guys not setting up with a jab and probably scared of leaving their chin open.
Okay. What about you, Colton?
I'd say it's a lack of versatility in fighters to an extent, but I'm not really quite sure. I haven't really, but there's very few great inside fighters in the sport of boxing right now. There's Beehive, Audrey Ward, and obviously Marquez and guys like that. But I just see a lack of versatility in today's talent.
Okay, lack of versatility. What about you, Calix? Why is the uppercut missing?
The main reason is because the art of inside fighting is pretty much dead. I mean, a lot of these guys aren't watching tape on James Toney, obviously, so you don't want to be throwing the uppercut from out of range, obviously. So you want to get on the inside, but a lot of guys, when they get on the inside now, I mean, almost every guy, they just want to clinch. They just want to hold it and punch. They got that Ricky Hatton syndrome going down. So a lot of these guys don't learn how to throw the uppercut from the inside because they're being taught to clinch instead of inside fighting like James Toney used to do. So they just don't know. They just don't learn how to throw it on the inside, basically. And the art of inside fighting is dead. I mean, guys don't inside fight. They don't fight in the phone booth for the most part now. They just want to clinch. So I'd say that's the main way.
Well, Callis, let me ask you this. Devin Alexander was very effective with Juan Urango with the uppercut, and him and Timothy Bradley fought inside. It was missing the whole fight. Why in the Bradley fight?
I'd say because Bradley was smothering him. I mean, he was smothering him, and he wasn't getting caught in that in-between range. I guess he's a little quicker coming in than Urango is, obviously. So he wasn't getting caught in that in-between range. Like Teddy Atlas, I always say this, Teddy Atlas always says it's all about real estate. So you don't want to get caught in between. You want to be on the outside or the inside. And Urango is just more of a stationary target than Bradley is. And I'd say that's the main reason. And Devin Alexander is throwing that uppercut. But I guess he has to do it against the right opponent.
Okay, what about you, Habib? How come the uppercut is missing today?
I agree with Calix 100%. The infighting. A lot of guys don't like to fight inside because when you fight inside, there's risk. You're close. You can get hit easier yourself. And when you throw an uppercut, the hand positioning, you got to bring that hand, drop it a little bit, and come up, and you got to center it, and it leaves your face open. And I think a lot of fighters are afraid to expose themselves. They're not confident enough that they could throw that punch and be accurate with it without getting countered. So I think that's why. I think that's a punch where it has to be perfectly thrown, perfectly timed. Because if you miss that punch, you are wide open, you're off balance sometimes, and you can get hit and knocked down or even knocked out after missing that punch. So I just think a lot of fighters are afraid to throw that punch because of the lack of versatility, like Colton said, and the lack of infighting, the lack of skill. It's not just always skill fighting inside, too. You have to be mentally tough to hang in there in the trenches. Because when you're close, it's easy to run out of ideas, and the tendency is to want to clinch. And, only special fighters can do that. They can fight on the inside. They can stand right in the kitchen, right in the fire, and just be able to throw punches. A lot of guys can't do that. They break down mentally, and they just want to hold and grab, and they don't want to fight on the inside. So
I tell you what, let me throw this out there, Habib, before I get to Carcino. You know, when I was boxing, one of our most devastating punches was the uppercut and the body shots. If we're sparring and the coach didn't see a certain amount of uppercuts or body shots, we're hitting the extra road work right after practice. We talking about running another mile or two. And when it comes to the uppercut, it's not just the inside fighting. People don't realize, because I'm going to just use me for example. It was easy for me. If I'm fighting a conventional fighter, I'm inside. You cannot throw uppercuts effectively standing right in front of your opponent. If that fighter's right in front of me, I got to shift and throw my uppercut from an angle. If I'm fighting a southpaw, I got to shift this way and throw it from an angle. It's all in your shift, and you cannot absolutely stand directly square in front of your opponent. Let's go to you, Carcino.
You're absolutely correct, Sean. I was just about to say that because in New York, like Gleason's gym, even here in Chicago and in Philly, it's imperative that they throw uppercuts. That's why you see fighters who come out like Zab Judah, Louis Collazo. Those guys are uppercut fighters. You know, they throw the body shots and the uppercuts. That's pretty much their main punch. But the reason why you're seeing lack of infighting is because of the referees. The referees are not letting these guys do that infighting because they're thinking it's boring to fight. People are losing interest when they feel like they're just slowing the fight down when they're really doing work on the inside. So to speed the fight up, I know Golden Boy Promotion does it as well. Whenever there's a clinch, they let it go for about 2-3 seconds and they split them up and let them start again because they want to try to keep fans active and they don't want any slowdowns in the fight. But that was really what a lot of fights was fighting in close. When a lot of people just stare right by each other just doing work, but a lot of fighters weren't allowed to do their work and do their jobs no more. And I saw a lot of frustration with that with some guy from the Gleason gym. And he was saying, like, why are we even working on this? He was like, the ref now's never going to let me stand in the pocket and even touch this guy. They're going to separate me before I get a chance to do my work. And he's like, I'm an inside fighter. I got to work from the inside and out. And he's like, if you take that away from me, you just put me in his advantage. So he was pretty much frustrated with that, and a lot of people don't, like he said, like Floyd Mayweather doesn't even throw the uppercut that much because he don't want to leave himself exposed. So he only throws it very seldomly. You see him throw an uppercut. Only when he's in an angle where he knows he will not be hit back, or if the fighter's pulling back, will he throw an uppercut. But you have to shift, and that's why Alexander didn't throw a lot of uppercuts. Bradley defense against the uppercut, and that fight was excellent. He kept his arm up, so he knew exactly when Devin wanted to throw the uppercut. Whenever Devin shifted, he was not there. He came in too close and smothered him so Devin couldn't throw the uppercut. And he couldn't shift his body over. When he tried to shift and throw the uppercut, he tried to shift his right foot right on the outside of Tim Bradley, but Bradley wouldn't let him do it. Bradley wouldn't let him get there at all. He would definitely beat him to the spot and he'll smother him before he got a chance to set and plant his foot to throw. So if he threw it, it wouldn't have any power or no effect on it because he couldn't plant. Because Bradley was so in close on him and throwing so much pressure, he couldn't do it. He had to either back up or grab and hold or spin out and turn around. And he got to start all over again. It was a good defense for the uppercut. He did a good job on that.
All right. We got a few more minutes. I'm going to throw a throwback one out there. This is more or less an opinion or a favorite. Throwback. Y'all ready for this one?
Yep.
2 referees.
Yeah.
Richard Steele, Mills Lane. Mr. Boxing Today, who is your favorite?
I will go with Mills Lane, man. He just seemed to have control. Tyson Holyfield, he had control. I mean, even when fights were, turning for the worst, Mill can get the control and he had the respect of all the fighters. That guy could make a fighter cry in there, man, because he was like a father figure in the ring,
right.
reffing the fights. Richard Steele, man, it's too much drama, man. He just makes bad judgment calls like the Mildred Taylor and Chavez fight, the Tyson Razor Ruddock fight. He stopped that prematurely. He's just always in weird situations, man. But he's a solid ref. But it's just makes bad judgment calls, at the wrong times, man. But he's a good professional ref. But I'll go with Mills Lane.
Okay. All right, Colton, who was your favorite out of the two, Mills Lane or Richard Steele?
I'm going to go with the guy who knocked Hopkins out of the ring. Only one to do so. In Mills Lane. On tough old man. His refereeing was top notch, like Mr. Boxing said. He wasn't afraid to get rough with him there, and he showed that he really cared about the fans as well. I'm going to go with Mills Lane.
Okay. What about you, Calix? Who was your favorite out of the two?
I can't go with Richard Steele after that Meldrick Taylor Chavez fight. I can't do it. That was awful. That was one of the worst refereeing I've seen. I still can't believe that you would stop a fight with 2 seconds left when all the guy's got to do is stand up. He's already standing up. So just let the guy stand up. Chavez is on the other side of the ring. Just let him stand up and get his win. He took enough punishment to get it. So don't even get me started with that. But I got to go with Mills Lane. The Holyfield Tyson thing, the guy just had control in the ring, and all the fighters respected him. And I think it's Mills Lane by a mile.
Okay. All right. Habib and Carcino, I'm going to switch the referees up for y'all, too. Arthur McCanty or Joe Cortez? I'm firm but unfair. Which one is your favorite referee out of them two?
Wow. You should have never brought McCanty up.
I gotta tell you one thing. All 4 referees that you mentioned, I don't like any of them. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I don't even like Mills Lane. I'll tell you why. I don't like Mills Lane. Mills Lane got too involved in the fight.
Yeah.
I thought he made a spectacle of himself in the fight. Let's get it on, pushing guys. Guys are fighting inside, breaking them up, giving them the strip down, pushing them. And even in the Tyson fight, the air biting fight, he did allow Tyson to bite Holyfield's ear, and he let that fight continue. He should have stopped it immediately. He allowed a second bite, and then he disqualified Tyson. So I'm not a fan of any of those.
Who's your favorite referee, B?
Oh, wow. I like Kenny Bayless. I like Steve Smoger.
Okay.
Who else do I like? Rudy Battle I like. Rudy Battle's good. Who's the big guy? The big guy used to be a heavyweight. Trying to think of his name. Randy something. I can't remember. Randy Newman, I like him.
Right.
He's a good referee. Big guy. I like guys that don't get involved. I don't pay to see the referee. I pay to see the fight. I don't want to see a referee get in there, grab guys, throw them, trying to break them up. No, man. I know you got to get physical sometimes, but let the guys fight. Like you said, guys are not allowed to fight on the inside anymore like they were back in the day. You got Joe Cortez, just because someone throws an elbow, he's automatically taking a point. These refs are ruining the fights. Maidana should not have gotten that point taken away.
All right, Carcino, we got
Mills Lane threw Bernard Hopkins out of the ring. That wasn't necessary. It wasn't necessary.
All right, Carcino, we got 1 minute left. Wrap it up for us.
Okay, I hate them all. Just like Joe said, it's trying to go to the lesser evil. I think we left out the worst referee of all, which is Jay Nady. That is the worst referee I've ever seen in my life. Now, he's the one I got on my list as the worst referee who always got himself involved in every single fight. I cannot stand Jay Nady. He was signing autographs at the fight. People were coming up and he's signing autographs. You're Jay Nady. That's it. You're not fighting. What you doing signing autographs?
And let me guess, Carcino, your worst fighter ever is Eric. What's his name? Jelly Bean or the Bean or?
Oh, Eric Jelly Bean.
Butterbean
right?
Ash.
Yeah, Butterbean.
Butterbean Ash.
Butterbean.
Yeah, Butterbean.
You forgot one referee that's a horrible referee too. Lawrence Cole.
I love Lawrence Cole. I love him. He might be corrupt. He might be working for the mob, but I love him. He did a great job.
Should I take a point away? Should I not take a point away? Looking around like this? Get out of here, buddy.
All right, fellas.
All right, we got to wrap it up. Until next time.